Hey guys, hope you're all well. So today we are going to be talking about three things that will almost guarantee you a graduate position. A lot of students come to me and talk to me about how they are struggling with getting jobs after university. Yeah, as much as I'd like to talk to all of them individually, I think that there are some things that they need to know that I need to answer on a public space rather than a private space. So, the first most important thing that you need to know as a graduate to get a job after university is understanding. Not just knowledge, understanding. Why? Because it's all well and good knowing that there's something called hello world and knowing there's something called an if statement and a while statement and a switch statement. But the question is, do you know under what circumstances you may need to use these? Do you know under what circumstances an if statement is applicable? Do you know under what circumstances a do while is applicable? And do you know under what circumstances a switch statement is applicable? Do you know? If you don't know that, I'm sorry to say, but you don't know it. So you have to put an understanding of these topics into your head before you move forward. Now, understanding means you're able to define what it is, you're able to apply it to a particular application. So if somebody asks you, okay, I've got an application, now how do I logically move around this? With the conditions in your head of how an if statement works, you will be able to debunk whether an if statement should be used, a do while should be used, a while should be used, or a switch statement should be used. Another issue stemming from understanding is if you can't explain something to a little child, you don't know it. It's very simple as that. If someone asks me, what is HTML? I'm going to say the structure of a website or the skeleton of a website because that shows my understanding, but I'm just trying to converge to the guy's level that I'm speaking to. And if I say, yeah, it's just tags or it's just hrefs or it's just H1s and H2s, you don't know what I'm talking about because you've never heard these words in your life. However, you know what a skeleton is and you know what a template is. So if I say HTML is a template of a website, you'll kind of understand that. But if I say it's a skeleton of a website, you'll understand that. So that's number one, understanding. Number two is experience. I know we've all heard that we need experience for jobs, but no, I'm not talking about the same experience you're talking about. I'm talking about projects that you have made yourself, stemming from that understanding. Now, the understanding of if statements. Now, let's say, for example, I don't know, I want to build an application for healthcare. Why don't I build an application for healthcare that safeguards patients' data, that is able to tell people what illness they have based upon the symptoms? I mean, that's not difficult to do, is it? Like a very, very simple one that if the patient says that he's sneezing and he's, I don't know, got a, I don't know, the symptoms of a flu or a cold, things like that, it'll output with a cold or a flu. Now, that's a basic if statement. Or let's say there's a lot more options to choose through and we need different cases for different scenarios. We can use a switch statement. Now, things like this, and then be able to actually talk about your code that, yeah, in the code, I use this logic for this particular reason. I structured things like this. Why did I use functional components instead of class components in terms of React? All this stuff is what you need to know. Projects are not just working for people, but also what you do yourself. After what you've done yourself, you then will be able to convince someone that you can work for them and then work for free in the beginning. It doesn't matter. You're a student, so you can't really contribute in terms of value. Well, you may be able to, but you can't contribute in terms of the value that you may want to get to. It's the story of the rich dad, poor dad. The rich dad is teaching the kid all the skills that he will need to eventually get rich one day, and he'll tell him to work for free, so he doesn't have the worker mentality. He has the creating your own value and contributing mentality. Whereas a poor dad will say that, okay, work for money and that's it. Work for money and sell your time for money. Now, guys, I want you guys to know how to sell your value. Your value meaning the results that you can bring. But to get to results, you have to first have the experience. So you first need to be able to actually build things and build things for a reason. But don't think that building a to-do list is a show of your potential. It's not. If you are interested in sports, build something to do with sports. If you are interested in religion, build something to do with religion. If you are interested in healthcare, build something to do with healthcare. Randomly just build something in, like, I don't know, using a programming language that helps healthcare. It might be something small. Let's say, for example, something that secures patient data, something that tells you your illness. Build these little projects and just go on as you go along and add them to your GitHub account. I personally haven't done that because I should do, but you guys add it to your GitHub account. Not just that, but all the projects you do have a reason behind it. Have a problem you're trying to solve. Make a to-do list for a particular niche or for a particular individual. Maybe a very busy person who may want to be treated a certain way, or maybe wanting to-do list certain topics. Like, for example, let's say you make a to-do list just for Zoom calls, or let's say you make a to-do list that, what do you call it, is for, I don't know, tasks, and then the to-do list automatically tells you which days and times to do it in according to priority. Meaning, make something useful. Don't make something meaningless. Make something useful. The third part is results. Now, I cannot explain to you how important it is to show results. Now, let's say you've got the understanding, you've got the experience, you've done projects, you've done them free, and you've done 4 people. Now show results. What can you actually contribute to an organization? Do you have the fortitude to be able to bring money in for an organization? Do you have the fortitude to bring in revenue? At the end of the day, that's the risk and reward factor that employers are thinking about. Is this guy going to make us more money in the long run? Can we take a risk on this guy? At the end of the day, you're a student, right? You're just going into an entry level role. Does this guy have communication skills, excellent communication skills? Does this guy have the ability to put forward what he wants to say? Does this guy have the ability to basically do the late nights? Does this guy have problem solving ability? And problem solving ability you will naturally get through coding anyways. So while you're building code, your mind will naturally think, okay, I'm building this, so I know how to do this. I know how this logic works with this logic. So if someone asks me a question as to how you're going to build this application, you already know because you've done something similar so many times. And so it's only a tweaking of the synapse in your head that you've built. Everything I've said is applicable to all you computer science students, but it's equally as applicable as to those who graduated during the time of coronavirus. Guys, I understand how you guys feel. You guys must be frustrated and you must feel like you've got rubber of degrees. Guys, you have the degree. If you guys want to learn coding, I've got the link in my description for my online courses. £25 per month, 7 days money back guarantee. If you guys don't like my face after the 6th day, you guys can get your money back. But I'm hoping you guys come on board and actually learn. You get 2 lessons free. The first 2 lessons are free, and after that, if you want to continue, great. If not, then that's fine. I understand. And guys, I feel for you guys who graduated during coronavirus because you missed out on the entire university experience. And yeah, so if you want to learn coding, then come towards me. And otherwise, find me on LinkedIn if you generally want to have a conversation about your career and about your goals. And I'll be happy to oblige. And yeah, if you found what I said helpful, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you. See you next week.